Welcome to another episode of College Football Time with Avry and Miguel. I am Miguel. This is my partner Avry. And the first one we're going to talk about is Kansas State versus TCU. This is going to be a huge Big 12 matchup. TCU are 2.5-point favorites. But in their last matchup, Kansas State almost beat TCU in their last meeting. And Kansas State, they felt that they should have won that game. They let us slip away from them. So they're going to come with a chip on their shoulder on this game. TCU cannot afford to have a slow start and then have this comeback at the end. You cannot do that against this Kansas State team. So what do you make of it?
You're exactly right. The last time Kansas State played TCU, it was very close. And looking at these two teams, believe it or not, both teams had a very tough time playing Texas. And Texas, being kind of a spoiler, may have gotten in both teams' heads each time they played. Both teams, they scored a decent amount of points, over 20, TCU scoring about 25 points. It's going to come down to probably total yards. Total yards, TCU averages about 473 yards per game. Their pass is nearly 275. However, they are allowing about 383 yards. TCU, their defense needs to step up because Kansas State, they can make these plays that will be absolutely crucial to how TCU can still keep in that playoff. And recently, like the city of Seattle wants to embrace the chaos, this could come down to creating some chaos if Kansas State knocks off TCU. But it would probably have to be a very decisive win for Kansas State to knock out TCU because they were just playing some really good football. Now, their Baylor game was kind of a nail biter for TCU, but I think this rivalry with Baylor has kind of, invigorated TCU. Both being Texas teams, Baylor, TCU, I think it can kind of, overshadow the Red River rivalry of Texas and Oklahoma, from years to come because they play very good games. Kansas State this year has been so good. Just a couple of tough losses, kind of threw them into a whirlwind. Kansas State's quarterback, Adrian Martinez, he's only had one interception all year, but he's going to need to do more than just these short passes. He's going to have to trust his receivers to get the ball downfield, and he's going to have to trust his receivers to get the ball in the end zone. TCU's quarterback, Max Duggan, senior, this is going to be a very probably emotional game for him. He wants to do this for the team. TCU has a shot at getting in this playoff. It's going to be close. I think this game is going to be a very close game, like recent games for Kansas State and TCU. I see TCU winning this, but I see them winning it close. I say it's going to be probably about 25-23. I see it being probably a middle scoring game, nothing super high scoring, but I see TCU taking this probably by the skin of their teeth.
I have it 27-20 in favor of TCU. This game is very huge for both teams. It's going to be about which quarterback will rise to the occasion the most. And Martinez, compared to Max Duggan, I feel like he's under the radar. So this is a game where he's going to have to stand out some way, somehow. And like you said, he's going to have to make those deep passes. He's going to have to be a very aggressive quarterback in this game. So Kansas State, TCU, I can't wait to see it. It will be at 12 noon. I mean, hey, I love when we have these great matchups early on in college football. So, but TCU, if they lose, they might still qualify. So, but obviously this is This is going to be a huge statement game for either or teams.
I agree, Miguel, because Martinez, he did have a great game against Texas Tech. His quarterback rating was 94%, but recently his quarterback rating has been going down. So you're right, he's going to have to step up. And I agree with you. 12 o'clock, high noon on Saturday. What a great way to start conference championship football.
Another noon game that we'll be looking forward to is Clemson versus North Carolina, ACC championship game. Um, both teams, they're coming into this game struggling, wobbly. So, and DJ, I mean, I feel like ever since that game against Syracuse, he just hasn't been the same. His confidence is not there. And I mean, I feel that this is a redemption game for him. He will have to throw at least 250 to 300 yards, 3 to 4 touchdowns, and avoid interceptions. I feel that this game he's gonna have to show up. Like I said, he's been struggling, and but I won't disrespect North Carolina because North Carolina, in order for them to have a shot in this game, they will have to keep up with the tempo. They will have to be aggressive, make this game as close as possible. Clemson, on the other hand, they will have to get on the running game. DJ will have to show up and be physical um, against North Carolina. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. But I'll say that by field goal, North Carolina will take this game.
You know what, Miguel? I like your thinking because both teams, yes, they are both coming in for 2 straight losses, and Clemson was literally sitting on the edge of making it to a playoff. And that game against South Carolina, I think messed with their heads a lot. Now, their game with Maryland was actually very good. They also had decisive wins previously against Miami, but I think that loss to South Carolina kind of messed with their tempo a bit, even though they're coming into another ACC championship game, which is nothing new for them. I think it's possible that they could overestimate or underestimate North Carolina. Coach Dabo Swinney has defended his players. He has defended his quarterback. He has defended his running back. He knows that this is the game that they need to, turn the corner and, remind others that they are the premier ACC team. But I'm with you on this. Do not count North Carolina out. As a college basketball fan, not a big fan of North Carolina, but college football in the past couple of years, Coach Mac Brown has turned this team around, has turned this program around. A 9-3 record and ranked 23rd is nothing, is nothing to scoff at. They've played some very close games this season. They've won some very good games this season. With the points, both Clemson and North Carolina put up about 35 points a game. Their total yards, North Carolina puts up a total of 480 yards. But the problem is they nearly give up nearly the same amount of total yards, especially when it comes to the pass. So North Carolina's offense is going to have to come out strong first. Clemson, their defense is going to have to step up. They're going to have to make some key plays to stop the momentum for North Carolina. And you're right, Clemson just needs to kind of come out fast and hard to try and get it. The weird thing is they're playing this ACC championship game in Charlotte. So I feel this is being kind of a North Carolina kind of atmosphere for the team. And once again, I feel we need to embrace the chaos on this because I want to say North Carolina takes it, but I think it's going to be close. I'm going to field goal, but I'm going to go with a little bit more higher score. I'm going to say 33-30 North Carolina, and I think it's going to be a nail biter the entire game.
Yep, nail biter. That's exactly what I'm thinking. Um, let's see whether DJ and Clemson will rise to the occasion, or will North Carolina will say, not this time. It's our time.
You're right, Miguel. Championship Saturday is very interesting, not just with the Kansas State TCU game, not just with the Clemson North Carolina game. There's some very good games on Saturday. And it's possible, not just with these two games, we could see some interesting results that make the college playoff be a very interesting topic of discussion come, Monday night, Tuesday night, because any given Saturday, any college football team, their coach is going to say some great words of wisdom that is going to inspire the players, and the players themselves are going to inspire each other. And there are going to be some great football games on Saturday. Also, tomorrow night with Utah and USC, which I think is going to be a great game as well. And this is why anyone can love college football.